And now I'd just like to turn our attention to the fourth year, and please join me in welcoming Dr. Renu Narchal and Dr. Karen Mattock. And I think they're actually going to do a bit of a team effort here, right? A bit of a team tactic. And then at the end of their presentation, we'll have a chance for some questions. All right, over to you. Okay, do you want me to get out of here for you? Escape. Escape? Okay, and your presentation should be behind here. That one? Oh, and screen. Sorry, I'm just trying to do this without my glasses. Right?
All right. I'll talk about the postgraduate diploma and a bit about the fourth year. And Karen is going to talk about the honours option with you. Now, for the fourth year options, as Phoebe rightly said, we've got three things that we offer here, three courses. Postgraduate diploma, fourth year specialist year, and honours. So each one of us takes on the responsibility of doing, helping you out in some ways to provide you course information. Now, about the postgraduate diploma, it's a full fee paying course, and when we say it's a full fee paying course, we simply mean that it's not HECS paid, but still there may be some fee assistance available, and check that up with our Student Central. They should be able to assist you there. Applications are submitted via UAC, and of course the postgraduate diploma option is a fourth year option, so it's available to students who have done an undergraduate degree, 3-year degree. Closing time for the application is around September, October. Check on the UAC site. We wouldn't really know much when it is, because we're not UAC, when it's opening, when it's closing, but generally that's the time around where it stops there, taking the applications. And as I said, you should have completed a degree or a course that is an accredited one, which you all are into, so that should not be a problem. Now, in the course structure here, the minimum requirement as a GPA is 5, which is a credit average, and it's a full 1-year full-time course. We don't have a part-time code there, though of course if there is some extenuating circumstance where a student wants to do it part-time, we are okay to let you do it, but there is a small application that you need to submit to justify why you would want to do it as a part-time rather than a full-time. The other thing that you must note is if you have applied in a given year, you cannot defer the offer. You can't say, sorry, I can't do it this time, can I keep this place? No, there is no foot in the door strategy that you can have there. So you'll need to reapply and then be assessed again with the new cohort. Also, the total number of credit points that you complete for this course is 80, and we've got just 5 units through which you complete those. And those are the units that we've got. 2 of the units you will see, the first 2 there, they're spread over, it's like a whole year. So it's really important that you start at that one time, the starting point, and then you finish off, otherwise you can't jump in halfway through. So there is no mid-year intake either for the course. And the other 3 that we have here are 3 10 credit point units offered at different times in the year, and that's during different semesters. So that's the postgraduate diploma. Entry requirements, Phoebe just explained, it has to be, it's no longer straight. There was a time when students thought that they were in a 4-year degree, they could be now getting into the 4th year. They are not able to because of the GPA requirements. And you must have a GPA for all the units that you are doing, including your electives, as 5, and also for the 2nd and 3rd year core units, you should have a GPA of 5. So there's a double combined kind of a strategy there. And what are those magical units? These are those units for which we call as the core units that you should have. So it's almost every unit in psychology that you are enrolled into, you should be having a GPA of 5. So we're letting you know right at the start rather than at the end, so that you're working towards it rather than towards the end. Now what happens if you have a GPA that is less? So there is going to be an early exit with a degree of psychological science, and that's going to be the code for your degree rather than the 4-year degree that you actually enrolled into. The 4th year is the other option, and you will realize that it is pretty much identical in terms of the first option, in terms of the course credit. So it's only the pathway that is different, but you end up doing the same units. You're not going to be doing different units, and you sit in the same class. And the other thing that I want to let you know, the theory and practice of psychological assessment and intervention is a unit that is shared across all 3 courses. Even the honors students do this. So it's a good way in which there is some competition and cooperation in terms of studying, and you will realize that it's not something which is very different that you are doing all on the same plane. Now the research project that we offer is a wonderful place for doing collaborative work. And this is a group project that students do in the 4th year and in the postgraduate diploma. So because it's similar that you are doing, students are allocated to supervisors, and we allocate supervisors on a random basis. So it's not that I want to work with so-and-so, that's my area of interest. We get around 100 or more students, and so probably we are not able to put you in a person with your choice. We can't give you the option of doing what you would be doing, which Karen is able to offer because Karen has honor students. Karen has less number of students. She's able to match up their interests and the interests of the supervisors. But unfortunately, I'm not. I kind of work on the principle of fairness, and I really don't know how to assess the needs of people other than saying, for me, or each student is alike, so I just allocate them randomly. The project idea comes from the supervisor, and believe me, all students love what they get to do because they learn something which is different. That's something that they have not done earlier and even sometimes not even heard of. But they end up doing collaborative work and they enjoy doing it. They share resources, they share the data, but at the end of the day, they go and write something which is their own research project, and that's an individual piece of work. And that's where the variation comes through. We find students within the same, I'll say, project group ending up having different marks, right from a pass to a 90. So there is that difference where you put in what you get. So we always say that contribute well and think that it's a fair way of doing. I'll leave you with a little YouTube clip here to watch to say why fairness is really important in life. And if it was not fair, probably you wouldn't like it.
Side by side. And if you give both of them cucumber for the task, the 2 monkeys side by side, they're perfectly willing to do this 25 times in a row. If you give them grapes as a far better food, then you create inequity between them. So she gives a rock to us, that's the task. And we give her a piece of cucumber and she eats it. The other one needs to give a rock to us. And that's what she does. And she gets a grape. And she eats it. The other one sees that. She gives a rock to us now. Gets again cucumber. She tests the rock now against the wall. She needs to give it to us. She gets cucumber again. So this is basically the Wall Street protest that you see here.
Thank you. So you know we don't want cucumbers thrown at us. So we'll use the fair and parity principle and give you a kind of equitable distribution there. Okay, thanks.
Thank you, Renu. Unfortunately, I have no videos of cute monkeys, but I can tell you about psychology Honours at UWS. So first of all, I'm just going to point out the difference in the course you apply for depending on what you're doing now. So if you are currently in the Bachelor of Psychology and you wish to apply for honours, you apply through course code 1500 and you apply from the UWS website. If you're in the Bachelor of Arts or completing a 3-year psychology major or graduate diploma in psychology, you apply for the Bachelor of Arts honours, and that's course code 1504. Be careful because there are other Bachelor of Arts honours programs that are not psychology, and each year a few of our psychology honours applications get sent to the wrong place because of students haven't paid attention to the course code. So if you're in that category, make sure you're applying for 1504. Applications this year close Friday the 31st of October, so in about a month or so. Later complete applications will not be accepted, so do give yourself time to lodge your application. Now, Phoebe has talked about GPAs. I'm now going to introduce you to the AAM, and this is what is called the average admission mark. So this is how we determine, it's a finer grain measure of your academic performance, and this is what we use to determine whether you are eligible to apply for honours. So if your average admission mark is 65 or higher for all units, okay, your application will be processed. Now, how do you do this? So what you do is you take the mark that you have got on your transcript for every unit, divide it by the number of units you have. Now, this is across all your units, not just psychology, so everything you have done in your degree, okay? Divide that by the number of units, and that gives you an AAM. If that's over 65, you're eligible to apply to the Psychology Honours program. Now, once you have sent your application in, we do this bit, calculate a different AAM. And this is the AAM for all your psychology units in 2nd and 3rd year. So, if you have already completed, your degree, this will be all 2nd and 3rd year units that you've completed for your degree. If you are completing this semester, so in spring 2014, obviously by the application deadline, we don't have your final marks for spring. So your AAM then is calculated on everything you've completed so far, so up until the end of autumn. And if you are completing in summer, then you need to pay attention to the next slides to see whether you are eligible to apply this year or whether you have to wait till next year. So, if you still have more units to complete after spring, but currently your GPA is 6 or above, you can apply this year if you have only 1 or 2 final units to complete in summer. However, if your GPA is currently between 5 and 6 and you still have additional units to complete after this semester, you can only apply if you have only 1 unit left to complete in summer. Otherwise, you'll have to wait until next year's round. How to apply? Well, there's an online application form, a transcript, and a statement of intent. And this is the same 3 components, regardless of whether you are applying through the course code 1500 or course code 1504. The statement of intent is something that you have to write. It's a 1,000-word piece, and it is essentially a proposal for a specific research project. So here you're going to tell us your research interest, and this is important for a number of reasons. It allows us to assess your academic writing and your ability to design a research study, because 50% of your honours mark will be based on your thesis component, which is an independent research project that you will work on individually with a supervisor or co-supervisor and possibly also an additional supervisor. So the statement should be 1,000 words, excluding references. You need to outline your commitment to the discipline of psychology. I've listed up there some of the things you might like to mention. You also need to include a research proposal, which is an outline for a particular research study. So give a bit of a rationale, describe briefly what you'd like to do and how you would possibly go about analysing that, and also list 3 research interests that you have. This will allow us to match you as best as possible to a supervisor. So we make between 30 and 50 offers a year. It differs slightly each year depending on the capacity of staff to supervise in the school. We make the offers in late November, December. You can study part-time, but you will, pardon me, originally there won't be necessarily a part-time option to select on the application form. You have to tell us after that. There is no mid-year intake, and we will match you to a supervisor as best as is possible based on your research interests. But obviously, if everyone loves social psychology, pardon me, and wishes to work, say, with Dr. Phoebe Bailey, then obviously she can't supervise 30 students. So that's why we ask you to list 3 research interests, and we'll match you as best as we can. So thank you very much.
Are there any quick questions at the moment? The slides are going to be available on the Views hub site. Yep.